Yo, yo, yo. Floyd House Flicks. Physical Media Commute number 9. Happy Monday. Monday. We're going to get this popping. Guess who's on YouTube? I got YouTube content coming your way. Physical Media Commute. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Every week. Hopefully. God willing. If the crop don't spurl and the creek don't rise, I will be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just to talk physical media, just to talk pickups, just to talk. Hope all is well. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. Spent time with the grandkids. You know, it's all good. Definitely grandkids. It's a real thing. So let's just talk about the stuff that I picked up this week, or that I got sent this week. Okay, from Best Buy, I think it was Best Buy, I wound up getting The Sword and the Sorcerer, which was a movie from my childhood. It was like sort of like a Conan, Red Sonja kind of thing. A lot of swords and sorcery. A lot of heads chopped off and magic. When we were kids, you know, that was kind of that was fun. So I got that strictly on nostalgia. And then I got another movie, which is sort of nostalgic too for us, but it was a horror flick called The Gate. I'm sure the older folks in here remember The Gate, and the new people in here that are starting to collect physical media from stuff from like Shout Factory or Scream Factory, what have you, they know The Gate. I also picked up from deep discounts. I picked up The Gate 2, because you gotta have 2. So I picked up The Gate 2. I picked up a movie called Slaughterhouse, which is an old slasher film about a guy with a big axe. He had a big axe. It's one of those things when you into the DVD rental store, or not DVD, the video store to rent movies. You went by the box, and dude with his big axe, pause, was just it was just one of those things like, yeah, he gonna do damage with that. Let's watch that. So I got that. Also, I got Deadly Friend, which just came out the other day. I'll probably say about 2 weeks ago. Deadly Friend came out. It's about a girl who has a robot, like a robot that she made kind of thing, or somebody made. That's what it was. There was a robot that somebody made, and this girl was close to them, and then the girl died, and then they took the chip from the robot and put in the girl. That's what had happened. It was what it sounds like. But again, nostalgia. It was all nostalgia. And there was one more. I can't remember. Like I said, I've been trying to get my brain to turn on in the mornings a little faster. I've had kind of a slow start this morning. Like I said, long weekend. These kids, man, they suck a lot of energy out of you. Kids are succubus. But yeah. So we watched a couple of things. We tried to watch. We watched. I tried to watch not Shaolin Soccer, but Kung Fu Hustle with my grandson. My grandson is 13. And I put on the movie, and he's like, first thing he says, how long is it? I'm like, it's not that long, but it's funny. Trust me, it's funny. It's funny. They had a movie called Shaolin Soccer, just explaining to him, what the movie was about and the types of movies that they were. And before we could get through anything, every time something funny would happen, I would look at him and he wouldn't look, or he would just look at me and like disgust. And I just got discouraged after a while, but I let the movie play. And then finally I turned and looked at him after one scene, and his ass was out cold. And then I turned the movie off. Like, you ain't gonna hurt my feelings, You ain't gonna sit up here and make me feel bad because I'm trying to share with you. You know what I'm talking about? So, and then he wakes up and says, "What happened to the movie?" I'm like, it's over. It went off. And he just kind of looked at me and started laughing. I'm like, I give up. But that's the way it is with, it was like that with my own children at some point. Of course, they got into it later. Like one of my sons, he digs anime. And I used to try to get them to watch anime back in the day. And it was like zero interest. Now he's animated out. You know, they know all about the characters, they know the storylines, they know all these things. Now they're at the point where I don't know what they're talking about because I gave up on anime many moons ago. So, you know, it's just one of those things. It's you gotta let them develop at their own pace. It's kind of like parenting, you know. You can't force parenting. It is what it is. You have to kind of ride the ride and pray that things go well. But what else did we watch this weekend? We watched the final episodes of Stranger Things. In Stranger Things this season, boy, I tell you, they pulled no punches on Stranger Things. It was just, they were doing the most. People were getting twisted up, like literally. Very enjoyable. I see what they're doing this year, and I said they got to do a second half because this is nothing. There's no resolution in this part of the season. You could see it. So once I saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, this makes perfect sense. So we get a whole new season or second half of a season in July. I wish they would have done that with Ozark. Do you watch Ozark? Are you familiar with Ozark? Because Ozark is probably one of the most well-written shows that I've seen in a long time. Ozark, once you get past the first couple of episodes in season 1, you are now fully invested. And you're invested in all the characters. I mean, you gain a liking or a severe disdain for some of these characters, and it's a very, very good show. Very, very good show. They say that this season was the final season, and it ended. I think I can say it ended kind of it wasn't the best ending for a lot of people. It's more like one of those Soprano endings. The screen goes black, and then you go on your own judgment, and I wasn't satisfied with that, because now I don't want to create my own ending in my head and wind up wrong, because that's not, you don't get real resolution from something like that. But all that said, it is a great show, very well written. I could say the same about Snowfall. Snowfall is a show which takes place in the 80s in LA, and it pretty much mirrors the life or the happenings of the Iran-Contra era and Freeway Ricky Ross, who was a big-time cocaine dealer in Los Angeles, and pretty much covered a lot of the United States with his product. He was getting his cocaine from the Contras. Allegedly, Oliver North and his people, which is without saying Ronald Reagan directly, got the cocaine into the United States to be funneled into the darker communities or communities of color, and even though we know that cocaine is used by a lot of people, but we'll say that it was primarily funneled into black and brown communities. It is what it is. So I'm not revising history at all. It's just that's what it is. So that's what the show is based on. And we got 4 seasons of Snowfall. And absolutely the same thing as Stranger Things. We need a second half of the final season or another season, because it was left sort of unresolved. You had this feeling of kind of like an ambiguous ending, and it's not enough. So looks like we need a season 5, because Snowfall is a very good show. Again, it's one of those shows that you connect to the characters. It's very enjoyable, although quite violent, but we've seen more violent. I mean, I remember Oz back in the day. Oz was a prison show on HBO back in the 90s. Oz was incredible. Oz had 6 seasons of the Oswald Federal Penitentiary. It's a fake prison, but it was a great show. A great show. Very graphic. It was prison. For people that never been to prison, it was a great motivator to never go to prison because of the things that allegedly happened in prison. Good storylines, though. Interesting. Very interesting. In fact, Franklin Saint's mother, Franklin Saint, again, the lead character from the show Snowfall. Franklin Saint's mother, I got familiar with her from Oz. That was the very first time that I saw her. She played the sister of a Muslim pastor, a Muslim imam that died in jail. So that was my introduction to her as a character actor. Can't remember her name off the top, but that was my first introduction to her. So Oz, violent, great show. Up there with like The Wire, great show. Very well done. It was, I would say that the violence on Snowfall is on par with the violence on Oz. It wasn't like overt violence, although I think most violence is overt. But it wasn't super overt violence in The Wire, and it wasn't super violence in Snowfall. But it was just shit, just the things that people deal with day to day. Things happen. But it was entertaining, I will say that. Entertaining. I don't think you can compare, say, the violence that was in what was it called? The movie about, I am drawing a blank. The movie with Benicio del Toro, I can't say the word. What the hell is happening? I want to say Serpico, but I know that's the Al Pacino movie. That's the wrong movie. The Mexico movie. The movie about the drug cartels in Mexico. I didn't really care for that movie. I thought it was, I don't think it's fake or anything like that. I don't think it's fake. I just think that it's just a bit much. So it's not like that sort of violence. That sort of violence is always just very extra. Very extra, very violent. I wish I had somebody in the room that could talk to me and tell me what the name of that movie was. Shit. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on that. But anyways, it's not that kind of violence. It's mostly just, oops, sorry. There we go. We're running a little hot here. I can't believe I remember. But it's more so of a, sorry guys. Yes, this is gonna make me crazy. I cannot remember the name of this movie, but I guess you got to keep it pushing. So those are some of the things that we watched this weekend. I also watched with my granddaughter, which is, to me, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm glad they put it out finally on Blu-ray. I wish they would have put out a 4K, and that is the Mitchells versus the Machines. That movie was just well done. The storyline is awesome. Everything about it just works. The characters are great. The voicings are amazing. And my granddaughter actually sat and watched that movie with me, unlike my grandson. And my granddaughter has the attention span of a flea, but she actually engaged in this one. She liked it. So just really well done. And I'd seen it when it was on Netflix, but this is the first time I watched it on physical media. I don't know why they didn't give us a 4K, because that movie has so many elements that would be amazing in 4K. It was done, if you already know, it was done by the same people that did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And it was just well done. It was one of those things that was just, I was glad to watch it again. It didn't feel forced. I still have not opened my Untouchable Steelbook. It was a guy who had posted an image of his movie Room on IG. I can't think of his name off top, but his room was amazing. I mean, he had films everywhere, super organized. The shelves looked fantastic, and they were full. And I sent him a remark that just says, "I love it, fantastic. But I bet you've only watched about 50% of the films, of the movies in that room." And he laughed. He was like, "Yep," because that's the nature of the collector. The collector is going to be buying all the time, filling the shelves, making the collection look phenomenal. We don't get to watch a lot of these movies. We don't make time to watch a lot of these movies. We are buying far more movies than we get to watch. I still have movies on my shelves. I know all the serious collectors do. We have movies on our shelves that have not left the plastic. They have not left the wrapper, because we're going to get to it. We just haven't. It's just part and parcel, I think, to most collectors. It comes with the territory. It's just one of those things. Our intentions, of course, are to sit down and put these movies on and watch them, whether we watch them with our families or watch them alone. We mean to watch them. It's just, we didn't get to it yet. So, shit happens. But it's just one of those things, and we love it. We love it. I think I've come to the conclusion. Now, please don't hold me to this, but I guess I need somebody to hold my feet to the fire. I said that I was going to try to slow down on the double dip. Slow down on the double dip, which for me primarily is just taking a copy of something that I have and trying to make it better. As in getting a steel book and throwing my copy into a steel book. Or when I say that, because sometimes you can get steel books, just the steel books. You don't have to buy the movie from them. They're selling just steel books, which to me is just silly. I mean, it's like, if I missed it, I missed it. It's sort of like Mortal Kombat. I don't own Mortal Kombat, the last Mortal Kombat movie. Why? Well, number one, I'm not a fan of Mortal Kombat. Or the movies, the games or the movies. My kids play it, but I'm not a fan. And number two, I saw the movie, and it was terrible. It was awful. But I don't have it in my collection. So again, as a collector, I feel some kind of way. I shouldn't, but I do, because I'm a collector. So I don't know that I need to, when I buy some of this stuff, I buy it so it's in the collection. I don't buy it because I want it. Which is, to me, it's kind of weird and it's a lot of pressure, and I don't know that I want to do that. I posted something on IG saying, should I do a collection review? Like 20, I've never done one, so I guess it would be my first collection review. And there's a lot of movies in there. And sometimes I see people do all of their movies, DVDs and everything. Sometimes I see people just do their Blu-rays and DVDs, Blu-rays and 4Ks. It's a lot of movies. A lot of movies. So I'm not sure how I'm going to work that out, because it's a lot to do. And I see some people physically do them one by one. They just hold them up. Hey, there's Batman by Joel Schumacher. And I'm like, that is a lot to keep up with. It's not impossible. It's just I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. Wow, you know what? Look at this. All of a sudden, we've run into a bunch of traffic right before my exit. Like a lot of traffic. So I'm going to have to take an alternate route. But I also noticed that I'm over my time. I generally like to do maybe 15 minutes, maybe in and around that. But I'm over my time. This is nutso. But I guess, and also, it's my first time really streaming on YouTube. So I'm going to have to figure it all out. And once I figure it all out, I'm going to be doing this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The physical media commute will live, and it will live on YouTube and IG. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so very much for listening. Thank you so very much for tolerating my babbling. And, I'm still, the whole time I'm talking, I'm still trying to remember the name of this movie. The Mexican cartel movie. That had 2 parts. And I keep wanting to say Serpico. It's not Serpico. I don't know what it is, but I give up. But I appreciate you guys. Have a great Monday. It's kind of blurry. What's the word? It's kind of gray outside. Dreary is the word I was looking for. And hopefully this burns off and the day flips around. But we'll see what happens. Hope you guys have a great day, great Monday. Do well, do the best you can. That's all anybody could ask of you, all right? Salute. Enjoy. Floyd House Flicks.